Have you ever wondered why Mark's Gospel seems so different from the other three canonical Gospels in the New Testament? Mark's Gospel stands apart with its brevity and a seemingly abrupt ending at chapter 16, verse 8. But don't let this lead you to assume an incomplete or less divine portrayal of Jesus Christ. Each Gospel writer had a unique audience in mind and emphasized different aspects of Christ's life. Now, some might point to the absence of accounts like the virgin birth or post-resurrection appearances in Mark's Gospel. However, these omissions do not negate their occurrence or their theological implications. Other Gospels and New Testament writings attest to these events, so you see, each Gospel presents a different facet of the same divine truth. Each Gospel writer wrote with different audiences in mind and thus emphasized different aspects of Christ's life. Does starting with Jesus' baptism by John diminish his divinity? This question has been posed by many, yet the answer is a resounding no. The baptism of Jesus by John the Baptist, as narrated in the Gospel of Mark, does not undermine his divine nature, rather it confirms it. Let's delve into the narrative. As Jesus emerges from the waters of the Jordan River, the heavens open and a voice resounds, "You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." Mark 1:11. This is a direct affirmation from God the Father, a divine stamp of approval, if you will. It emphasizes the divine sonship of Jesus from the very beginning of Mark's Gospel. This baptism scene is not a footnote but a cornerstone, marking the commencement of Jesus' public ministry. It sets the stage for the unfolding of his divine mission. The baptism narrative affirms, not diminishes, Jesus' divinity. What about when Jesus says no one is good but God alone? Is he denying his own goodness or divinity? Let's delve into Mark 10:17, 18. Here, a rich young man addresses Jesus as good teacher, to which Jesus responds, "Why do you call me good? No one is good but God alone." Now, at first glance, this might seem like Jesus is denying his own goodness, or perhaps even his divinity. But when we take a closer look, the truth emerges. Jesus isn't denying his goodness or divinity. Instead, he's inviting the young man, and indeed all of us, to delve deeper. He's prompting us to recognize his true identity, God in the flesh. This is a common thread in Jesus' teachings, where he's known to use paradoxes and questions to stir deeper thought. Jesus often used seminal questions to provoke deeper thought and recognition of his identity. And what about the ending of Mark's Gospel with the women fleeing the tomb in fear and astonishment? The Gospel of Mark concludes in an unexpected way, with the women leaving the tomb trembling and bewildered, and saying nothing to anyone because they were too frightened. At first glance, this might seem like an abrupt and unsatisfactory ending. However, it's important to understand the context. This ending does not diminish the reality of the resurrection, but rather it intensifies it. The women's reaction, filled with fear and astonishment, is an honest response to a divine event that surpasses all human understanding. The resurrection of Jesus Christ was not a mere resuscitation, but a transformation into a new form of life, a life that defies death and transcends our earthly existence. It is an event that should indeed leave us in awe and wonder, just as it did the women at the tomb. The ending of Mark's Gospel demonstrates the astonishing reality of the resurrection. How did early Christian fathers understand Mark's portrayal of Jesus? This question takes us back to the initial centuries of Christianity. Early church fathers, such as Ignatius of Antioch and Justin Martyr, were instrumental in shaping the foundational doctrines of Christian faith. They recognized the duality of Christ, his divinity and humanity, a concept known as the hypostatic union. Ignatius, in his letters, repeatedly affirms the divine nature of Christ, while Justin Martyr, through his apologetic works, emphasizes Jesus as the Logos, the divine word made flesh. This understanding of Jesus as both God and man was later affirmed at the Council of Chalcedon in AD 451, a significant milestone in Christian theological history. So, Mark's Gospel, in its unique emphasis and narrative, aligns perfectly with these early Christian understandings. It does not contradict, but rather contributes to a holistic comprehension of Jesus Christ. Mark's Gospel affirms key components of Christian faith: his divine sonship, his unique relationship with God the Father, and his miraculous resurrection. Can we hear an amen to that? And don't forget to like and subscribe.